Wir haben Chuck Ragan und Chris Wollard zu Gast. Hi.
Hey.
How are you doing? You're fine?
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Okay. So we thought about we will start. We are at college radio kind of here right now.
Yeah.
So it's just run by students, and we would like to know what was your college or university or high school time like?
Me personally, I never went to college, so I've been in bands. You know, I moved to a college town not to go to college, but to play music.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, I only went for a little bit too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we all decided years ago that, you know, we kind of came to a crossroads where we were like, well, you know, are we going to do the band for real? Or are we going to be working and going to school? And, you know, I mean, there was definitely a moment where, you know, we were on the road so much that we couldn't hold down a good job most of the time. I mean, and but we also weren't making enough money to live, you know. So we would go on tours and we would come back with next to nothing, and sometimes find ourselves homeless or, you know, sleeping on couches for months, and it was just tough. But anyhow, years ago, we all made a conscious decision, like, we're musicians. This is what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. So let's do it.
So it's about Gainesville. We played music from Gainesville in the first hour that we had our show here. Mm-hmm. And we would like to know whether Gainesville kind of touched you in making music. Was it easier to start a band in a city like Gainesville that has a college and that is not that big like New York or anything?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we moved there. And I still live there. Me and the drummer still live there. It's a great town. Really small, though. Really small. But we all moved up there for the music scene. You know, it was very supportive, small town.
Always something going on.
Yeah.
Always shows.
Yeah, and like everybody's in a band. And most people are in 3 or 4 bands. You know? Yeah. Like every band is also in another band with the other guys from the other band, you know?
Okay.
And I don't know, I mean, it's a whole community. You know, you go to a restaurant and you know everybody in the kitchen and you know all the bartenders and you know all the security people. It's just everybody's in it together, and everybody does, you know, they put out their own records, they put out, you know, they used to do, you know, paper fanzines, now they do websites.
And also, which helped for us, like when we were younger, is extremely cheap. To live, you know, really cheap.
Still
live.
is.
Still.
And since,
like I said, I'm still there.
Since like Chris said, so many people were in bands, you know, like all the restaurants and the construction companies, and they just knew, you know, like, you know, there's this revolving door. Sometimes you would have a job for a month, sometimes a week, you know, and in and out of, you know, on the road or whatever.
So you already have been to Dortmund quite a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
And I think you were on the tour with Muff Potter in 2008. Are you still in contact with those guys?
We just saw Noggle.
Yeah, we just
2 months ago. We were in Berlin. We just saw him.
We see all those guys every once in a while, and you know, Dennis and Rami and Shredder, you know, all those guys. Every once in a while, we don't see him enough, you know, but it's kind of, you know, the kind of behind the scenes community in this music world is really cool. It's like
and tight.
You can be away from somebody for years, and then you see them, and it's like it was just yesterday, you know. And like we've known Muff Potter. We did our first tour with Muff Potter in
that was 90 or 91, maybe. Like on the Discount tour, I think it was the first time we played.
Yeah, no, you mean 2001. We never.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
91, yeah.
So maybe you can tell us if there will be...
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Flip a coin.
2001, that sounds right.
It was like 1962.
Okay,
No.
yeah. Maybe I wasn't born at that time.
Yeah. Me either.
Maybe. Okay, nobody in this room was. But you don't have the new shit for us if Muff Potter will be reunited again?
I don't know. I mean, we all would love to see that, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We want to hear some gossip.
Yeah. So do we. You should know more than we do.
Yeah,
you
right.
live here.
So it's about your side projects in 2006. You all decided to do something different, to do something new. You all had different acoustic projects or projects with other artists. And we would like to know what was the main reason for you to leave Hot Water Music for a while?
I mean, like, for me, there was definitely a moment, like, we just kind of were driving ourselves into the ground, you know, in a lot of ways. You can only run a machine so long before it needs maintenance and, you know, before it, like, breaks down or explodes, you know, and, like, every single one of us may have a completely different answer, you know, but for me, it was just definitely a time that I needed to take a step back and reevaluate why I was playing music, what I wanted to do, you know, for the longest time. During that time, I didn't want to be in a band anymore at all. You know, there was a little while where it was like, it had nothing to do with not wanting to play music. You know, I never stopped writing songs or playing music. It was just, we kind of were this machine that just kept going. And, you know, it was definitely like, what was weird is a lot of the songs we were singing were, you know, just about, like, you know, being yourself and following your instincts and following your heart and being true to your friends and your family and all this. And, you know, there came a time where, you know, a lot of our own lyrics started really ringing true to me. And I was at a point where it was like, man, you know, I don't necessarily want to be here right now. Like, we were all kind of going through different turmoils and, like, strife. And
you needed to go home and take a nap.
I needed to go home and take a very long nap.
So, Chris, it was for you. It was also like you had to take a nap, or
I mean, no, it was different, but we definitely needed to take a step back, and I mean, the road schedule was crazy back in those days. Just you never went home. I never got sick of playing music. Like, I was born to rock. You know, I mean,
yeah, very good.
But sometimes you know, it's like I start missing going into the studio more, and there's things that I want to be doing that I'm not having a chance to do because I'm always traveling, you know, or you know, you go to Munster, you know, 10 times, and you keep going, okay, sometime I'm going to take a day off here and actually enjoy the city, you know. So, you know, I wanted to do some traveling that was different, you know, and, you know, it was nice having that break. But, you know, I always knew we were getting back together at some point. It just, you know, you have to go do some living at some point, and then you come back and write about it.
Finally, when you came back in 2008, what was it like? What was the point where you said, okay, we will have to do this again? And what does it feel like to start again with this band that you knew for so long?
To me, it felt like a high school reunion or something. I mean, it really did. Like, I don't know, like, and it wasn't even that long. You know, we only really took a break from playing for only about 3 years or so. And then, you know, our agent, our buddy, booked. It started with just one show. He said, I want to do one show. I said, cool, let's do it. And
he was like, I don't want you guys to start thinking and making plans now like the old days, you know, because he knows us. You know, if we're talking about one show, then we want to talk about 30 shows, you know. So he was like, can I just book one show, please? And we were like, yeah. And then at the end of that show, we were like, okay, let's do another one. That was good.
When we came back and doing these reunion shows and even doing these shows now, there's people coming out of the woodworks, you know, that have been coming, you know, ever since our very first gig or our first gig, you know, over here. Like, people coming out since 1998, you know, and our shows somehow kind of, it's a real blessing, it's a real honor. Like, our shows just kind of unite a lot of these people and like these friends and this family. Like, it's a family that we've all built together.
Okay, so we don't have any clue what Exister should mean to us. What is it?
Well, I mean, in the simplest terms, it just means to exist, to be, just to be.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just kind of simple. Here we are. This is what we're doing, you know.
Nothing fancy, nothing...
Back to business?
Nothing sugar-coated, just back to business, back to basics, back to just like, this is kind of the grassroots of the band. And that kind of what, you know, this, if we could sum up, you know, the whole record, that's kind of what we came up with.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, this is us, you know. It's been a while, so here you go.
Did you have any special sound in your mind when you started recording Exister? Like, in the critics, it's very positive, but a lot of people say that it sounds like what?
Something between the new one next and Caution, something between.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I mean, we just wanted to document like the now.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you know, we didn't.
And we tried to keep it pretty simple too. I mean,
really simple.
He recorded on his Gibson that he's been playing forever, or recorded on my Fender that I've been playing on forever. We just plugged in a bunch of amps, and we just went for it. We tried to keep the production really simple.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely sounds. You can tell we spent a lot of time working on it, but you know, as far as guitar players, it's just. I'm on the left, Chuck's on the right. That's it.
There wasn't a lot of wasn't a lot of overdubs either. It was like just plug in. This is 4 guys playing, and it's cool for us because the songs really translate live better than it's like the old days, where we just went in back in the day where. You know, we would go into a studio and record a record in like 12 hours. You know? It's like.
Okay, I know.
And that's it. You know what I mean? Just lay it down.
Okay.